Hello there, and hi there, and welcome to Mummy Made This, a company I founded back in 2020, I think, to inspire creative play in children, but also to build a community of like-minded parents. Welcome to today's conversation. And what I really want to talk to you about today is the adult parent child dynamic. And I don't know if some of you know Eric Berne. He came up with this concept, and linked to that is another concept where you have like the drama triangle, where one person ends up being the victim, one person ends up being the rescuer, and one person ends up being the persecutor. Um, and I found that in my family, every now and then we slip into those three roles, or one of those three roles, and it's really not helpful. And in my sort of corporate career, I read all these theories, right? I have the, I'm okay, you're okay. That's part of the. Which way around is this now? um, Part of these theories and books that are so important to understand human dynamics, right? And then in your own family, when you see this stuff happening, you think, oh my gosh, well, how do I break out of that? And the thing that triggered me the other day was that my children in particular kept saying things, oh, you made me do it, you made me do it. And there is a game that Eric Berne talks about, that is called Look What You Made Me Do, I think. Um, and people play it at varying levels of intensity, I guess. And I was reading all about it, and then I started to get intrigued about, well, why do we do it, and how do we most importantly break free from it? And one example, I think, in our family where I play that game, if I'm being really honest and vulnerable and holding my hand up, um, is when I keep asking my children to do something, and I ask them once and I ask them twice. So one example is making their bed, for example, or even just like, come on, we've got to go now, go put your shoes on or whatever. And I can say things, I think probably up to 20 times, so much so that the kids now even turn around and go, yeah, you've asked me before, like just chill. And you think, well, if I've asked you before and you know I've asked you before, then just get on with it. Um, and then in the past, certainly, I've often then started to like yell from across the room and, oh, come on, just get your shoes on or whatever. And then afterwards, I felt really guilty, going, "Oh, I shouldn't have shouted, and but you made me do it. Basically, you made me yell because you weren't listening." And I thought, wow, actually, I am doing exactly that as well. And how can I break out of that cycle and not participate in it and stay in my good place, I guess. And so I've been trying the following thing that I'm going to share in a minute. And I'd mentioned it in one of my Tuesdays as well, in one of my reels. So some of you might be familiar with it or have seen it elsewhere on social media as well. So it really resonated with me, and it really linked back into this idea and all these the this "you made me do it" concept. And basically, this woman talks about, and that's what I've been trying with my children, and it's been amazing. She talks about, well, you as the parent, right? If you're asking your children to do something, ask them once. If you can handle it, ask them twice. And then if they're still not doing it, or they're ignoring you, or they're not ready, um, then you get up from whatever you're doing, take the hand, take the lead as that adult, and calmly and kindly set the boundary and follow through, right? If it's about putting your shoes on and finishing up what they're doing, then you go over to them and you take their hand and go, it's time to go now. I've given you a warning, or I've told you that we're going soon. Come on now, it's time to go. And there's degrees of freedom within that, right? There's flexibility within that, but I guess that's a personal preference as to how tolerant you are, or how patient you are that day, or how quickly you need to be somewhere, for example. So I know that it works in my family when I say, oh, 5 minute warning, we've got to go in 5 minutes, and then, but I know, and my children know, that normally that 5 minutes, oh, if I get distracted and get chatting with another mum, well, that 5 minutes turns into 10, or sometimes half an hour. And I don't think they take it seriously anymore, that 5 minutes is 5 minutes. And then I get really frustrated that they're not taking it seriously, even though actually it's it's my own doing if I'm being really harsh with myself. So yeah, to break out of that, but look, you made me do it, and the guilt and that negative cycle of, and that drama triangle basically, right? So I've gone from um like shouting at them and being a persecutor, and the child being the victim of being within, this theory, of being shouted at and punished potentially, or really sad about, oh, hang on a minute, where did this come from? um I then flip to feeling really guilty, and then I am in sort of victim mode, going, oh, look what you made me do. And it's really unnecessary and not particularly helpful. So the way out of it is staying in your good place. And by I have noticed that within me, that staying in my good place means respecting that inner frustration that I can feel building. And rather than keep doing the same thing and asking them over and over and over again, that just makes that frustration build, to break that cycle and just get up and lead the way. They expect me to lead. They need me to lead. Um, and just go and do it with them. Do it not for them, but with them. Show them how. And then you can do it calmly and with love, and you're still holding that boundary. You're still giving the leadership that they require and they are asking for. And most importantly, you avoid this drama triangle of um, yeah, blame and victimization and shouting and guilt and all that stuff. Anyway, that's my thought for today. Let me know. Have you heard about the drama triangle elsewhere? Does it resonate with you? Do these things happen in your family? And what do you do about them? I'd love to know. And speak to you soon.